Hey guys, it's Kim. Gosh, I'm kind of nervous, but I've been looking at this walk away campaign, and I'm just really compelled to add my 2 cents to the fray. I watched the young brother who started the whole campaign. I've seen him on Fox. I heard him on Judge Janine. I looked at his video this morning, just compelling us to post, like, if you walked away from the Democratic Party, or if you've been conservative, to post these videos so that the left can quit lying about the movement is mostly bots. So I just felt really compelled that I had to put my 2 cents in. But I walked away, gosh, back in 2000. And when I started to realize that the Democratic Party was just lying to black folks, when I realized that it was Republicans who pushed through the Civil Rights Act, I started learning a little bit more. I became, actually, back in 95, when I first became a Christian, I think that's what started opening my eyes, because I voted for Bill Clinton and I really believed in him. But when he started lying, to our face about Monica Lewinsky, oh gosh, I think I had ice cream. It was pretty good. I had some ice cream on my lip. But he was lying about Monica Lewinsky, saying that he didn't have. So it started opening my eyes, and I started paying more attention to politics. I always voted Democrat because that's what my mom was, and she was very, when it came to election day, and her and my stepdad would get dressed up, go to the polls. So I always felt, I've been voting since I was 18. I'm 57 now, I'll be 58. I voted in every presidential election. The only one I missed, this is how left I was, I missed the 1980 election, which really the first time I could have voted for a president, and that's when Ronald Reagan won. And I felt so bad because I felt personally responsible that I had helped him get elected. And I really didn't know. I just felt that way because I was told to feel that way, that he was bad, because he was conservative. So I brought into that all the way up until I was almost 40. And when George Bush was the second one in 2000, when he was running, up until that point, I had started doing a little reading, and he said something on his stump speech that really impacted me. He said, we have to get rid of the soft racism of low expectations. I had already started to kind of move to the right. I was looking at what affirmative action was doing. I felt like it wasn't right. Like it was more of a hindrance to black people. Like anything that we got that was to our credit could always be suspect because we had help or had a disadvantage. So fast forward to 2000, I started thinking about switching over when George Bush said what he said, and I started paying attention, really learning history, that all of the races in the South were Democrats, that it was Democrats, the Ku Klux Klan came from Democrats, that Margaret Sanger, who started Planned Parenthood, did her first speech at a Ku Klux Klan rally. That the president, Woodrow Wilson, had the Klan doing a showing in the White House, and he was one of the worst progressives. I learned a lot, started listening to Glenn Beck way back in the late 90s when he still had a little sanity, and learned a lot just from him, and start paying attention to history and learning. And it just seemed right to me to become Republican or conservative, or I just knew that the Democrat Party and socialism and whatever they were representing just didn't fit with me. It didn't fit with my spirit. So, but I've been a closet Republican. I mean, those close to me know, and I really don't even consider myself a Republican. I'm more conservative, even leaning a little bit libertarian. But I see how these people on the left are crazy. Oh, and the other thing, listening to Rush. Just really, when I heard George Bush, I started listening to Rush Limbaugh too back in 2000, and just listening to him and hearing him just tell the truth. And it was the same thing with me when I first heard about Rush, and because I was a Democrat and let people tell me what to think, I always thought he was bad. Until I started listening to him. I thought he was racist. Everything that the Democrats try to tell you that people on the left, progressives, whatever you want, I think they're all the same, with the exception of being classical liberal. I see a lot of classical liberals. My stepdad was one who I think are very reasonable, and you can have a discussion with them. As a matter of fact, here lately with the last election, my family knows that I lean right. I've had discussions and debates. They're brainwashed. They're drinking the Kool-Aid too. But I mean, it really got bad when after the election, my own little sister disowned me because I voted for Trump. And I thought that was crazy. And even now, to this day, our relationship hasn't gotten back to where it was because of how she felt. I knew she was a big Hillary supporter, but it never crossed my mind to ever think about not talking to her. She took it personally that I voted for Donald Trump. Like, she told me she literally felt like I didn't want my niece to have health care because I voted for Donald Trump. And this is a very smart, intelligent woman. And it just blew me away. And to this day, it still really hurts. So I walked away way back in 2002. I've been a closet Republican, conservative, libertarian, whatever you say. I just know I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a progressive. I don't agree with those policies. I love Donald Trump and what he's doing for this country. I'm an American who happens to be black. That's how I relate. And what Donald Trump is doing, I love that he doesn't do identity politics, because what he's doing is caring for Americans. So anything that's good for Americans is going to be good for all Americans, whether you're black, white, brown, Asian, Hispanic, Latin, whatever we want to call ourselves. We're all Americans first. And his policies are what matters. And that's what I like. I don't care about his personality or anything about that. One thing I have no doubt about is that, number one, he loves this country. Number two, he only cares about Americans and putting Americans first. I don't see how anybody can get anything racist from that. The media lies. The left-leaning media lies about everything. I don't trust anything. I haven't watched CNN in years. Don't care to watch it because I already know what they're going to say. MSNBC, CBS, I watch Fox, I like Hannity, I love Judge Jeanine, like Tucker, Laura Ingraham. I used to listen to her on the radio, so I do. When I watch cable news, that's where I watch, but I do get a lot of my information too from YouTube, on the internet. Those YouTubers, I love them. They're telling the truth. The conservatives, even if they're not conservative, I just want to hear the truth. So I do a lot of YouTube. So this was just me sharing my walk away. I was just compelled to do it. I'm waiting for my membership I asked to join today. So I'm pre-recording this and hopefully it'll get uploaded once they approve me. But I walked away a long time ago, back in 2000. So it's been 18 years. I've been in the closet. So maybe this is my coming out. Maybe that's what I'll name the video, my coming out of the closet Republican or closet conservative. But I just wanted to let my voice be heard in this as well. This has been something that's been inside of me for the last 18 years. And I appreciate this movement has given me the opportunity to just say out loud what I've been wanting to say forever. And God bless America. God bless our president. And I'm just praying for his success because his policies are the right policies. I love everybody. Peace, y'all. This is your girl, Kim.